Early retirement. It's a dream for so many. And you're definitely taking the right steps by exploring it.
Yeah, it's a big one.
We're diving deep today into the advice of Sharang Nadkarni.
Oh, I like him.
He's sharing his wisdom on his blog, Finance with Sharang.
I've seen it. Lots of good stuff there.
We've got excerpts ready to really break down his 8 key steps.
8 steps.
Yeah. We'll see how they connect
Okay.
and hopefully get you thinking about your own path.
Cool.
It's really fascinating how Sharang built this roadmap to early retirement.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
He doesn't shy away from the tough stuff either.
Oh, good. I like that.
He starts right off the bat with eliminating consumer debt.
Makes sense.
But, it seems kind of counterintuitive. Shouldn't we be focused on, making more money to retire early?
You'd think.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's where Sharang's perspective is kind of unique.
How so?
He sees debt, especially that high-interest consumer debt, as a huge obstacle.
Oh, I see.
It's almost like you're working for the banks, not for your own future.
Yeah. You're just paying off interest forever.
Right.
Makes it so much harder to get ahead.
Exactly. He even uses that analogy, of interest payments.
Oh, yeah.
Being wealth siphoned away.
That's a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes it way more tangible than just numbers on a statement.
For sure.
Now, he's not advocating for a life of deprivation,
Right.
but more of a mindset shift.
Gotcha.
Breaking free
Yeah.
from that constant cycle of, I need the latest gadget.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
But that can unlock so much financial potential.
Oh, absolutely. No
But
question.
what about a mortgage?
Okay. Yeah.
So many people consider that good debt.
Especially with low rates these days.
Exactly.
Right.
So how does that fit in?
Yeah, where does that fall?
Well, Sharang acknowledges that it's a point of debate.
Oh, interesting.
Some argue that paying it off aggressively frees up cash flow later on, while others believe investing that money instead
Yeah.
could yield higher returns.
Makes sense.
It's really something you'll want to weigh carefully based on your risk tolerance
Okay.
and financial goals.
Gotcha.
Makes sense. No one-size-fits-all answer there.
Nope. Yeah.
So debt-free as much as possible.
So,
Check. But then comes the part that many find even harder.
Oh, boy.
Living below your means.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's not about surviving on ramen noodles forever.
Oh, good.
Right.
Yeah.
But Sharang emphasizes minimizing lifestyle inflation.
What is that exactly?
It's that tendency
Yeah.
to kind of upgrade our spending as our income grows.
Oh, okay. I see.
Imagine you get a big raise.
Yeah.
It's so easy to think.
Yeah.
Time for a fancier car.
Or that vacation you've been putting off.
Yeah, exactly.
That's-
But if those upgrades become the new norm, you're kind of on a treadmill,
Ah,
never really getting ahead.
yeah. Yeah, you're just spending more as you make more.
Right. Sharang suggests analyzing your spending habits,
Okay.
identifying areas to cut back,
Uh-huh.
strategically, not drastically.
Makes sense.
So a practical tip for our listener. Before any raise or bonus, decide on a percentage to automatically put towards savings or debt.
Oh, I like that.
It's like that money never even existed for spending.
A smart move.
Now, Sharang started as an engineer,
Okay.
which typically comes with a good salary.
Yeah, usually.
And he admits this gave him a head start.
Of course. Makes things a little easier.
Right.
Yeah.
But what about folks who aren't in those high-paying fields?
Right.
Are they doomed when it comes to early retirement?
Good question.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is it even possible?
I'd hope so.
Right.
Not everyone's an engineer.
Well, Shrang stresses that earning a good salary is definitely helpful,
Okay.
but not the only factor. It's about maximizing your earning potential.
Yeah.
Within your chosen path.
I like that. So there's hope.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that means further education, negotiating raises skillfully, or even branching out into side hustles
Uh-huh.
aligned with your skills.
So even if you're not pulling in 6 figures right now,
Right.
there are still things you can do.
There are levers you can pull.
They're not stuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the real heavy hitter, investing.
Okay. Yeah. That's the big one.
Sharang is a huge advocate for starting early
I hear that a lot.
and being consistent.
Why is that so crucial?
This is where the magic of compound interest comes in.
Okay.
Think of it as like a snowball rolling downhill.
Yeah.
The earlier you start, the bigger that snowball gets over time.
Right. It just keeps growing.
Sharang even has a whole blog post dedicated to this,
Really?
with examples showing how even small amounts
Hmm.
invested consistently in your 20s
Wow.
can balloon into significant sums by retirement.
I need to read that.
Yeah.
It's pretty powerful stuff.
He mentions various investment avenues too, right?
He does.
It's not just sticking it all in a savings account.
Definitely not.
That won't get you very far these days.
Right. He talks about 401ks, which are retirement savings plans offered by many employers.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are Roth IRAs, which have tax advantages for withdrawals in retirement.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of those.
He even mentions rental properties and index funds,
Oh, wow.
basically spreading your investments for different levels of risk and reward.
So it's about diversifying.
Exactly. This is where I start to get overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Are we expecting listeners to become like financial experts overnight?
That's a good point.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, it can be intimidating.
Right.
It's like a whole new language.
But that's a valid concern.
For sure.
Shrang's not saying everyone needs to be a Wall Street whiz,
Okay, good.
but having a basic understanding of these tools is key.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are tons of resources out there.
Oh, yeah. To break them down. And even starting small
Uh-huh.
with like a simple index fund
Okay.
can get the ball rolling.
That's good advice. Just start somewhere.
The key is to educate yourself. Find a strategy that aligns with your risk tolerance.
Yeah.
And take that first step.
I like that. Actionable advice. And that's where Sharang's approach gets like even more interesting. He talks about building income streams outside of your traditional job.
Okay.
Specifically like passive or creative income.
This is the part that always makes my ears perk up.
Right.
But explain it like I'm totally clueless.
Okay, sure.
What exactly does that mean?
So passive income is money you earn without, actively working for it.
Gotcha.
Think rental properties, dividends from stocks,
Uh-huh.
or even royalties from a book you wrote years ago.
Oh, okay.
Things like that.
So it's like money working for you while you sleep.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that.
And Sharang, he really emphasizes building these streams to cover living expenses before tapping into your retirement accounts.
Oh.
This lets those investments keep compounding,
Yeah.
maximizing their growth potential.
Makes sense. Delaying gratification
Mm,
for a bigger payoff later.
right.
But what about creative income?
Oh, yeah,
That sounds more fun.
it is. This is about monetizing your passions.
Ooh.
Sharang himself, he uses social media to share financial advice.
Oh, cool.
And that actually generates some income.
I see.
But it could be anything, really. Teaching online courses,
Uh-huh.
selling crafts, freelance writing, the possibilities are pretty vast.
Okay, this is blowing my mind a little bit.
It's exciting stuff.
So let's say our listener is, diligently paying down debt,
Mhm.
living frugally, investing wisely,
They're doing great.
and then they start bringing in this extra income
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah.
What happens next? Do they just quit their job cold turkey?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Sharang talks about it being more of a gradual process.
I see.
As that passive and creative income grows,
Yeah,
you gain more flexibility.
makes sense.
Maybe you reduce your work hours, take on more fulfilling projects, or even, transition to part-time
Uh-huh.
while pursuing your passions more seriously.
It's like creating a safety net before taking the leap,
Exactly.
which makes the whole thing feel less scary.
Less risky, yeah.
But Sharang also talks a lot about teamwork,
Oh, yeah, that's important.
especially if you're married. Why is that so crucial?
Well, financial alignment is huge in any relationship,
For sure.
but even more so when you're aiming for early retirement.
Okay.
It's not necessarily about both partners retiring at the same time,
Right.
but having shared goals and strategies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Imagine one person's laser focused on frugality,
Yeah.
while the other still, enjoys those spontaneous spending sprees.
Oh, yeah.
That's a recipe for conflict.
Oh, I can definitely see that leading to some arguments.
Yeah. Money can be a touchy subject.
So practical advice for our listener. How do you even start those money conversations with your partner?
Right.
It feels so awkward.
It can be, especially if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
Sharang suggests regular money dates.
Ooh, muddy date.
Yeah. Dedicated time to just discuss finances
Okay.
openly and honestly, without judgment.
Gotcha.
Maybe you share your individual financial goals.
Huh.
You create a joint budget, or even explore like investment options together.
That
Maybe
makes it less intimidating.
Yeah.
Like you're tackling it as a team.
Exactly.
Now, Sharang also brings up a potentially sensitive topic.
Okay.
Having children.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
How does that fit into the early retirement equation?
He's very upfront about the financial impact.
Okay.
You know, kids are a joy, of course.
Yes.
But they're also a significant expense.
Yeah, for sure.
And that could potentially delay your retirement timeline. He suggests considering the timing carefully. You know, maybe delaying parenthood a bit.
Yeah.
To get further ahead financially.
That's going to be a tough pill to swallow for some people.
I can see that.
Isn't there a risk of waiting too long
Mm-hmm.
and then facing like fertility challenges
Yeah.
or other age-related issues?
Absolutely. That's a valid concern.
Okay.
Sharang acknowledges it's a deeply personal decision.
Yeah.
And there's, no right or wrong answer.
I guess so.
Some couples manage early retirement with kids just fine. Others prioritize financial freedom first. It's about finding what aligns with your values
Right.
in your circumstances.
So another question for our listener to ponder.
Okay.
How important is parenthood to you?
Hmm.
And how would it realistically impact your financial goals?
That's a big one.
No easy answers there.
Nope. And that actually leads us to one of Sharang's most powerful points.
Oh.
The path less taken mindset.
Okay.
Yeah. He compares leaving a stable job to skydiving. Terrifying, but exhilarating.
I could see that.
Most people I know are at least somewhat unhappy with their work.
Yeah.
But very few would actually quit without a plan.
True. What makes that jump so hard?
It's fear, right? Fear of the unknown,
Uh-huh.
fear of failure, fear of judgment from others.
Yeah.
Sharang says most of us are kind of conditioned to follow a certain path.
Okay.
Get a good job, climb the ladder, retire at 65. Stepping outside of that takes courage.
So how does someone cultivate that devil-may-care attitude he talks about?
Right.
You can't be just like flipping a switch.
It's definitely a process of self-discovery.
Okay.
Maybe it starts with, exploring your passions, beating those income streams, gaining that financial security.
Right.
As that foundation grows, so does your confidence to take risk. It's almost like building a muscle, that ability to trust yourself and your decisions.
Right.
And that's where Sharang's story becomes really inspiring. He shows that early retirement, it's not just for, the wealthy or the lucky.
Right.
It's for anyone willing to put in the work, be strategic, and embrace a bit of risk.
Yeah. It's almost like he reframed
Yeah.
the whole concept of retirement.
Kinda, yeah.
It's not just like an end point,
Uh-huh.
but like a starting point
Yeah.
for a new chapter.
Yeah.
One where you're like in control.
You're writing the story.
Exactly. And that ties into something we touched on earlier, the importance of pursuing your passions.
Right.
Sharang's social media presence
Yeah.
is a great example. It's both a creative outlet
Uh-huh.
and a way to like share his knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and generate income.
He's found a good balance there.
Okay, let's be real though. Not everyone's going to become like a social media influencer,
True.
but the underlying principle is powerful.
Right.
Finding ways to monetize what you love.
Absolutely.
100%.
It could be anything. Writing, photography, teaching, consulting, starting a small business.
So many options. The key is aligning your work with your values
Yeah.
and finding something that like energizes you.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't, bring in millions.
It's not always about the money.
Right.
Finding fulfillment is huge.
So, question for our listener. What are you truly passionate about?
Ooh, good one.
What skills or knowledge do you have that others might find valuable?
Yeah.
Even if it seems like a hobby now, could be something more.
There you go. Plant that seed.
Right.
Sometimes you just need to think bigger.
Those are like the seeds of creative income.
Exactly.
And even if they never, fully replace your day job,
Yeah.
pursuing those passions can bring like immense satisfaction
Oh, for sure.
and potentially open up new opportunities down the road.
Who knows where it could lead?
It's like Sharang says, early retirement is about aligning your lifestyle, work, and passions.
That's a great quote.
It's not just about escaping the 9 to 5. It's about designing a life you genuinely love.
Well said.
And that's a powerful message, especially in a world where so many people feel stuck or unfulfilled in their work.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sharang's journey reminds us that we have choices
We do.
and that taking control of our finances is often the first step. towards taking control of our lives.
I love that. Taking control. It's empowering.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Shirang's insights, I want to leave our listener with this. What one step from today's discussion resonated most with you?
Okay.
What action will you take?
It's all about action.
It could be, having that money conversation with your partner, finally setting up a Roth IRA, or even just brainstorming a list of your passions. Taking that first step, however small, is what sets everything in motion.
Couldn't agree more. Momentum is key.
It's been a fascinating exploration of early retirement. And I hope our listener feels empowered and inspired to continue on their own journey.
Me too. Early retirement might not be for everyone, but taking control of your finances, that's for everyone.
I think that's a great note to end on.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Thanks for joining us.